Today's lesson is topic writing, choosing a cause to support. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
And I'm Hanny.
And today is our topic writing unit for the month of February. Actually, it's the last day of February, and it's a leap year. So, of course, today is the 29th of February. And, of course, this only happens once every 4 years, but our topic writing lesson happens every month. And today, our topic is all about choosing a cause to support. If you're trying to help out with some organization that wants to bring about some social change, this is the lesson for you.
好，我们这次的主题式写作呢，是关于选择支持的社会议题。那这边他写到 choosing a cause to support， 这个 cause 在这边不是指原因哦，而是当名词去表达说，可能是目标、理想、事业，像是某些人他强烈所支持的这种目标、理想、事业，常常用来指针对某个议题而努力的理想。好，那我们这次呢，就是要来练习撰写表达意见的文章。这次我们会看到2张表达不同诉求的海报内容，要选择一个支持的活动，然后说明原因。那我们现在就来练习吧。好，那我们会看到2张海报，它会出现在不同的游行活动当中，我们就要依照海报上面内容来想想看这个游行的诉求是什么。那我们去思考对哪一个议题比较感兴趣，还有原因，到底为什么你会支持呢？好，那所以我们这个文章会分成2段，第一段呢要说明这2张海报可能是要表达什么样的诉求，那第2段是要说明你会选择参加哪一个活动，还有选择这个活动的理由。好，那我们就现在准备来开始看看课文范例它怎么带领我们引导写作。
Okay, so the first part of our lesson talks about a slogan here. The slogan, Youth for Climate Action, Our Planet, Our Future, expresses our continued effort to keep climate action at the forefront of people's minds. So remember, a slogan is kind of a catchy sentence that a company uses or a country or a person uses to promote a certain action or a product or whatever. Lots of companies have slogans, and in this particular case, it's the slogan of some kind of organization, and the slogan is Youth for Climate Action, Our Planet, Our Future. Yes, indeed, that is a catchy slogan. It's easy to remember, and it expresses our continued effort. We want to make sure people keep thinking about climate change. We want it to be at the forefront of people's minds.
好，我们的第一张海报它是关于 Youth for Climate Action。Our planet, our future. 所以他就是在讲说这个口号啊，青年参与气候行动，我们的星球，我们的未来，这是表达了我们持续努力，把气候行动置于人们关注的重点。好，那像这样的方式来说明这个海报它可能要表达的诉求。那换我们写写看，也许你也可以写说这个气候参与气候行动，我们的星球，我们的未来，这样的口号呢，宣示了我们持续的承诺，要来提高大众对于气候行动迫切需要的这种认识。我们可以去表达这个 raise public awareness， 去表达说提高大众的意识。这样，那我们来请 Roger 老师告诉我们，换你写写看可以怎么写。
And here's how you might write it. Youth for Climate Action, Our Planet, Our Future is a slogan that announces our ongoing commitment to raise public awareness of the critical need for climate action. This is basically the same meaning as the first part that we just talked about. Again, it's a slogan, and it makes an announcement here. It lets people know about what we're all about. We have this ongoing commitment. It continues into the future, and we want to raise public awareness. We want this to be at the forefront of people's minds. We need to remind them of the critical need for climate action. We need to take action on climate change, or we're all doomed.
好，那我们接着呢，准备要来说明第2张海报了。那我们来看看课文范例它怎么说。
Okay, and it continues to say, as for the slogan, war is not the answer, peace is the way. It shows that global peace is now another important issue. Realizing wars are breaking out around the globe, we young people have been very vocal in our calls for peace. So as for the slogan in regard to another slogan, which is, war is not the answer, peace is the way, this particular slogan shows us that global peace is an important issue. We need to keep that in mind. And we also know or realize that wars are breaking out around the globe, like in the Middle East and in Russia and Ukraine. Of course, wars are going on all the time. So we need to be very vocal in our calls for peace. If you're vocal, of course, you speak your mind, you let people know your opinion, and everybody should do something as a result of what you say.
好，那么接着我们就是要来说明第二个口号，它是 War is not the answer.Peace is the way. 好，那这时候课文范例他就写到 As for the slogan 点点点点点，那这边他用 as for 去表达说，至于这个口号 War is not the answer, peace is the way. 至于这个战争不是答案，和平才是出路这个口号，它显示了全球和平现在是另一个重要议题。那意识到战争在全球各地爆发，我们年轻人一直都在大声疾呼和平。好，那这边就是讲完第一张海报，然后要说明第二张的时候，他用 as for 去衔接。那我们其实也可以用 meanwhile 去表达说与此同时，然后接着去讲第二张海报的内容。那像换我们写写看的时候，你也可以写说这个口号呢，它强调了全球和平作为另外一个关键议题的重要性。因为我们目睹了发生在世界各地一些重大新的战争嘛，那我们年轻时代就要直率、直言不讳的去表达我们对和平的诉求。好，这边我们可以用到 outspoken 去表达我们那种直言不讳的坦率的那种状态。那在讲到重要性的时候呢，我们除了用 importance 这个常见的字，也可以用 significance。那如果你要形容重要的，你可以用 important、crucial 或者是 critical 等等，这些都可以去描述至关重要的。好，那我们现在请 Roger 老师告诉我们，换你写写看可以怎么写。
And here's what you might write. Meanwhile, or at the same time, war is not the answer, peace is the way, highlights the significance of global peace as yet another crucial concern. Yes, indeed, having peace in the world is very crucial. It's very important. We need to keep that in mind. And as we've witnessed major new wars starting in various places around the world, we, the younger generation, have been outspoken in our demands for peace. So yes, because we've seen lots of wars starting in different places around the world, we young people must be outspoken. We are not going to sit around and say nothing. We're going to let our opinions be heard, and we're making demands for peace. We don't want all this fighting to go on forever.
好，那我们现在呢，看完这两张海报，我们说明阐述完了之后，接着要进入第二段。那第二段呢，就是要去说明你会选择参加哪一个游行，还有你选择这个议题的理由。好，那我们现在来看看课文范例它怎么写。
Okay, so here's the second part of our lesson for today, and here's what we say. I'm particularly concerned about promoting peace because we are under the threat of war too. Yes, indeed, this is an issue that affects everybody, especially if you live in a certain area that might be a war zone in the future. So yes, we need to be concerned about promoting peace because we are under the threat of war too. It might affect us. It might happen tomorrow. It might happen next week. You never know. It might just happen pretty soon.
好，那这边课文范例呢，他就一开始就直接点出重点，说自己对哪一个议题比较有兴趣。他就说 I'm particularly concerned about 点点点点点。那么 I'm concerned about something 就是我关心什么什么嘛。那他这边加了这个副词 particularly 去表达我特别关心什么。那这边他采取的立场就是他支持的是这个促进和平的这个游行。那他也说明原因说，因为我们也面临了战争的威胁。好，那现在换我们写写看，假设你选择的议题呢是全球暖化，那也许你就可以写说，虽然战争显然可怕，但是我更担心的是全球暖化，因为怎么样怎么样，像是可能因为它对人类的生存造成更大的长期的威胁。好，那除了用 I'm concerned about 什么，我们其实也可以用 I'm worried about 什么什么去表达自己关切的议题。那再补充一下，我们要表达造成威胁的时候，你其实也可以用到 pose a threat 去表达。那么 pose 当动词呢，它有造成、影 引起的意思。那它受词通常会是一个表示风险、表示问题的名词，像你可以说 pose a danger 造成危险， pose a problem 造成问题等等。好，那我们现在要请 Roger 老师告诉我们，换你写写看可以怎么写。
Okay, here's what you might write. It says, while war is clearly horrific, even though it is clearly horrific, we do know that war is terrible, it's destructive, it's painful, there's a lot of pain and suffering and death and destruction. This is true, but I'm even more worried about global warming because I think it poses an even greater long-term threat to humanity's existence. So yes, wars are terrible, but they don't last forever. They get over with in a couple of years, and everybody who died is buried, and we move on, we get on with our lives. But global warming is more critical. It's more terrible because it has a long-term threat to society. It's going to go on for years and years and years. It's not like a war which gets over in a relatively short time. It poses a threat to humanity's existence. We all might become extinct just like the dinosaurs.
好，那我们接着呢就要来说明原因了嘛。那刚刚课文范例他采取的是他要参加这个促进和平的这个游行，他对这个议题比较有兴趣。那我们来看看他怎么说明原因。
Now here it says, recent years have seen horrible losses of life in different places, and I think it's important that we remind people there are alternatives to war. So recent years, or in recent times, we've seen horrible losses of life in different places around the world as a result of these wars. So therefore, I think it's important that everybody be reminded that there are other choices to war. We have alternatives. We can have peace talks and things like that, or we can change our opinions, not be so stubborn, and then we won't want to go out and kill people. And that's why I'd be willing to join peace marches if given the opportunity. So here our writer is saying that one possible solution to having wars is to join these peace marches, let people know that peace is the way and that war is not the answer, and therefore we can make a contribution to society by joining those peace marches.
好，那我们来看看课文范例，他选择这个促进和平游行，他所说明的原因，他就提到说，近年来在不同地区发生可怕的生命损失。那他写说，我认为我们提醒人们有替代战争的方法，就是战争的替代方法，这样是很重要的。这就是为什么如果有机会会愿意参加和平游行。好，那这边他在说明原因的时候，可以用到 That's why 主词加动词这样的句型去表达，这就是为什么怎么样怎么样。好，那这时候 why 主词加动词这个名词子句呢，就是当主词补语用，所以 That's why 点点点，那就是为什么，这就是什么什么的原因。那换你写写看呢，如果我们是回到刚刚那个气候变迁游行的这个诉求呢，也许我们可以写说，在最近几年气候变迁的后果变得越来越明显，我们可以看到一些极端气候事件啊、旱灾啊什么等等的，那我们就看到它造成的损失越来越大。这就是为什么我一直尽我所能来帮忙解决问题，像是从减少塑胶使用到尽可能去搭乘大众运输等等。那我们现在如果要讲说什么东西越来越明显，什么东西越来越严重，我们其实可以用到 increasingly 这个副词，或者是你可以用 more and more， 它们都可以表达出越来越怎么样的语义。好，那我们接着请 Roger 老师告诉我们，换你写写看可以怎么写。
And here's what you might write. In recent years, especially or in particular, the consequences of climate change have become increasingly clear and increasingly damaging. So we've got these consequences of climate change, the results of things that are going on, and that's why I've been doing whatever I can to help address the problem. I can do whatever I can to help handle this problem to reduce the effects of climate change. And I have a range of things I'm doing here, from reducing my plastic use to using public transportation whenever possible. These are things that I'm doing to make my contribution, and hopefully that will bring about some change concerning climate change.
好，那我们现在就要来帮我们文章的第二段要做结论咯，也就是要针对我们所选的议题去做结论。好，那现在我们就回到课文范例，他是对和平游行这个议题感到兴趣，那我们来看看他怎么做结论的。
Okay, it goes on to say, while these demonstrations may not end wars immediately, they do show that the next generation doesn't want to make the same mistakes our elders have made. A peaceful world is not only possible, but necessary. So it is true that these peace marches or demonstrations may not end wars right away, but they do let the next generation know that they shouldn't make the same mistakes that their elders have made. They don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. Of course, if we don't remember the past, we're condemned to repeat it. And a peaceful world is not only possible, but necessary. We do need to have a peaceful world, or again, we're all in big trouble.
好，这边他提到说，虽然这些示威游行可能不会立即结束战争，但他们确实表明下一代不想犯我们前辈所犯的同样错误。一个和平的世界不仅是可能的，而且是必要的。所以这边就再度强调了这种和平示威游行的重要性，它所代表的意义这样子。好，那换我们写写看，我们就要回到刚刚那个全球暖化议题的游行咯。所以呢，也许我们可以写说，像刚刚有提到这种减少塑胶使用啊，搭乘大众运输，这些是我们个人的行为嘛。那也许读者看起来会觉得，你一个人做这样有用吗？才一个人的力量诶，那你就可以从这一点针对去出发说，虽然这些个人行动显然不足以阻止气候变迁，但是如果有足够多的人来做出类似的努力，人类就可以集体对这个问题产生真正的影响了。那这可能是我们逃过气候灾难的唯一途径。好，那我们补充一下哦，刚刚在讲到个人行动，你可以用到 individual actions。那相对的，你可以用 collective actions 去表达集体行动。那么 collective 就是在 collect 后面加上 ive， 这个形容词是形容集体的、共同的。那它的副词就是 collectively。那我们接着就请 Roger 老师告诉我们，这个换你写写看，我们这个结论可以怎么写。
Here's what you might write. Although these individual actions are obviously not enough by themselves to stop climate change, humanity could collectively have a real impact on the problem if enough people make similar efforts, and that might be our only way to escape a climate disaster. So yes, indeed, it is true that working as a single person, as an individual, may not be enough to save the world. Everybody, humanity, all human beings could work together. They could do this collectively to have a real effect on or to have a real impact on this problem. And we need to have enough people to do the same thing, to make similar efforts. And this perhaps is the only way that we can escape climate disaster. So we all need to join hands and work together to save the world.
好，那我们接着就要进入第二部分，来看看我们的写作范例 our sample essay。Okay, here's our sample essay. The title is Young People Call for Climate Action and Peace. If you call for something, you're just saying this is what you want. And as young people, we're becoming more aware of global issues, and we are more passionate about standing up for causes that matter to us. We're passionate. We have strong feelings about this. The slogan, Youth for Climate Action, Our Planet, Our Future, expresses our continued effort to keep climate action at the forefront of people's minds. Again, their slogan is Youth for Climate Action, Our Planet, Our Future. That is a catchy phrase. And we want to make sure everybody's thinking about climate change. We want them to be reminded of this problem. And even though politicians talk a lot about protecting the environment, action is often lacking. Yes, indeed, actions speak louder than words. So we do need to do something, and our politicians need to do something. They shouldn't just be talking. And as for the slogan, or in regard to the slogan, war is not the answer, peace is the way, it shows that global peace is now another important issue. And realizing wars are breaking out around the world, if we continue to remember that, if these wars are breaking out all over the world or all over the globe, we young people have been very vocal in our calls for peace. We've been vocal. We've been letting people know what we think. We've been speaking out. 好，那这个段落我们来看几个片语，一个是 stand up for somebody or something， 或者是你可以用 stand up for oneself 去表达挺身支持、捍卫什么、为什么什么来辩护。那另外一个片语是 at the forefront of something， 或是你也可以用 in the forefront of something 去表达位居重要位置。这个 the forefront 就是表达最显要、重要位置或是地位。那刚刚老师有提到这个 actions speak louder than words， 就是行动胜于言语。就像我们说的做而言不如起而行的意思。那我们接着来看第二个段落。
And here's the next section. It says, I'm particularly concerned about promoting peace because we are under the threat of war too. So yes, I am particularly or especially concerned about bringing about peace because we are under the threat of war. Recent years have seen horrible losses of life in different places, and I think it's important that we remind people there are alternatives to war. Indeed, lots of people have died because of these wars, and we need to remember that there are other choices. There are alternatives to war, and that's why I'd be willing to join peace marches or demonstrations if given the opportunity. And while these demonstrations may not end wars immediately, they do show that the next generation doesn't want to make the same mistakes our elders have made. A peaceful world is not only possible, but necessary. So yes, indeed, demonstrations do get a lot of attention. Of course, you can be on TV if you join a demonstration, carrying flags and calling for change. But, of course, they may not be effective in stopping wars right away, but they do let people know that this is our concern, and maybe politicians will take action and bring an end to those wars, and we'll have a peaceful world where we all live together peacefully and happily.
好，那我们最后来看这个段落的第二句，他有提到说 Recent years have seen 点点点点点。那在这里 see 不是看的意思哦，它是当及物动词可以表达经历或是见证，意思是跟 experience 很相近。那其实在这边它也可以表达是什么什么的发生时间或是发生地点 to be the place or time in which something happens， 它是这个意思。好，那我们现在就看完全篇的文章咯。
And that's it for this month's edition of Topic Writing. We're choosing a cause to support, and maybe you might choose your own cause to support, and hopefully this will help you write a really good essay concerning this topic. From all of us here at All+ Interactive English, my name is Roger.
And I'm Hanny.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.